All right. So, what were your first thoughts when you heard Micah Parsons traded?
I guess a couple of things. Definitely a pretty big shock, only because through history we've seen so many contract disputes, and maybe they don't get as ugly as this one kind of recently did. But we've seen holdouts. We've seen as of late a little more deals getting done in the 24th hour. And so regardless of kind of all the chatter the past month or two, I really truly thought a deal was going to get done between Micah Parsons and the Cowboys. And I know there was some chatter about Green Bay, but when I officially saw it, I must say I was pretty surprised, just knowing the history of contracts in the NFL. Just it was a shocker. What about for yourself?
Yeah, to me, it was a shocker on two levels. Number one is Jerry always pays his superstars. So you go back to CD Lamb, go back to Dak. It drags on for a little bit, especially what happened with Dak or Emmitt Smith. Obviously, you can date this back to all the guys that have been there, and he usually always knows that he needs superstars for the market, and he'll pay for them. So that's what shocked me. Number one is like I'm surprised he actually traded him. And number two is the Packers actually making a deal. This is like as unheard of as a Packer fan for the past 30 plus years is to make a trade right before the season starts, yet alone sign a free agent in the offseason, which rarely ever happens because they usually draft people. So, we've had the big free agent signings like Julius Pepper, or was he traded or signed? Trying to think about that on
I forgot about that. I thought
I
that
think it
was
was
like signed. I would think that was one of the because they didn't sign
yeah.
anybody for the longest, right? And you're like,
Yeah,
ooh,
it was him and Charles Woodson. Those are
that's
like the
right.
big signings that they ever had, right? The fact that you're bringing in a guy who's played 4 seasons, he's had 12 plus sacks in each of those seasons. There's only one other player that has done that, and that is Reggie White, who's a Packer.
Speaking of
So I
Packers,
think it's pretty good to see, and I'm happy to see it.
oh yeah, I obviously for the short term, um, this is huge for the Packers. They're going all in, in terms of like the defense. And I know a pass rush was one of the things that they really, really wanted to work on this past offseason compared to last. And they got the ultimate pass rusher just in one trade. And so he's obviously going to get paid a lot. We know what it potentially could do to the salary cap. We know they gave up 2 first-round picks. That's kind of for the future to worry about. But for now, they definitely got themselves a dog. And they saw some weakness there in Dallas. Like you said, it's so rare for this to happen because the Dallas Cowboys, Jerry Jones, it always comes with drama. Just recently with Dak and CD. And so again, I thought it was going to be just another one of those things that we were talking about it all summer. He signs an extension a week before the season starts, and we kind of forget everything about it. But yeah, it's a big day for the Packers. Cowboys, to be honest, I don't think they were very crazy about this year, whether if it was going to be with Parsons or not. He has been on the team. He was on the team last few years. They've had a couple of good seasons. But instead of, paying him a lot and being 8-9, 9-8, 7-10, perhaps they said, hey, let's trade him. But sometimes those trades can come back to bite you. And so I'm sure that's something that Green Bay is looking forward to.
Yeah, I mean, Green Bay is the youngest team in the league right now, right? And so you just still got younger in a way. I mean, he's 25, 26 years old, 4-time Pro Bowler, and you're adding all these youth with already that youth that they have of hoping to have some explosive players like Golden, the receiver who they drafted in the first round, and then obviously you have Jordan Love. However, you're going to be in salary cap hell pretty soon in the next couple of seasons. But I think during this time where everybody's young, you got the young receivers that are not going to get paid that much. You got young offensive linemen, young defensive players. And so for the most part, you're paying your top quarterback and you're paying your top defensive player, who's arguably one of the best defensive players in this league. So I think for sure you're going to make the move every day. I think when you think about first round picks for the Packers, typically they're in the 20s. It's not like they're usually going to be a top first round pick in the top 10 or anything like that. So I don't really mind giving up the first round picks. The salary is what surprised me the most, is that they went into that agreement right away, which is pretty cool to see.
Yeah, sure. So Green Bay won't have a first round pick until 2028 now. And so, I mean, it means something, right? Usually your first round picks are just, they start right away. But you're right, is the Packers have just traditionally always been, they never were on the lower half of the standings. They've always been on that upper half. And so you figure, especially with getting Parsons, this draft pick again will be in the mid-20s or something, right? And so it's obviously better to have them than not, but this was just the cost of doing business and getting, maybe one of the top, when it's all said and done, top 5, 6 defensive player of all time, right? Potentially. So just the cost of doing business. You had said earlier, I was looking up Julius Julius Peppers and what 11 years does. So he did sign in 2014 with the Packers, 3 years, $30 million.
Wow.
2014.
So it's definitely made a difference, right? And he did make a difference. They went to 2 NFC championship games while he was there, right? So 2 out of 3 seasons, having a star defensive player like that did help the Packers kind of get to that next level, even though they didn't get to the Super Bowl. Now, when you think about it on the Dallas Cowboys side, what do you think they're doing, number one? And are there any positives that come out of this for them, or is it all negative?
I would say, if it was, no disrespect, because they are, a Super Bowl championship organization. I know it's been some time and they've had a lot of good years. I think if it was like a well-run organization where one can argue right now that it's not, I think it would be they would be in a decent spot. I think Green Bay's in a better spot, but only because if they would have gave him that money that he was due to get, I mean, they are very mediocre. And I just think that would just put a stranglehold on them. And they just weren't ready to do that. And so I know Dallas has had a thing for, I guess, trading away stars this year, the city of Dallas. Obviously talking about Luka Doncic, but I think, I don't know. It's like something they probably felt like they had to do, but what will they do with it? That's my question. What are they going to do with these extra first round picks? What are they going to do with this cap space that will be created from this? And I expect a very mediocre year for them coming up. And then, maybe next year they can kind of basically start a rebuild, really.
Yeah, I mean, my first thought was Dallas fans are going through it. And the first image I had in my head was when Luka and Micah Parsons were exchanging jerseys, and they're no longer part of those teams, right? So I'm like, man, how time has just changed within 1 year, right? So as a Dallas fan, it's just more of like, what are you guys actually doing? Because Jerry has always been about his superstars. If one thing with the team, he's like, even if we're bad, we're going to have stars. So you're losing arguably one of the best players in this league. And you're saying the reason you kind of got rid of him is you're looking for a defensive tackle to help stop the run. And now you're probably not going to be able to stop the pass, right? You're not going to have that edge rusher. So like in a league where, I'm not saying running is not important, but passing is obviously first and foremost the main thing that they do in this league. and you just got rid of the best person that does it.
Yeah. If there was one thing that the Cowboys are, even the years that they haven't had success, is they've had those stars. They've had a lot of, somebody that people go to watch games for, and Micah Parsons definitely does that. But they've kind of, I don't know, they've taken like a little bit of a backseat as of late. I feel like they hired, what's his name? Brian Schottenheimer, right? Not a real sexy hire. Previous to that was Mike McCarthy, right? Just kind of a safe pick hire. And it could be because Jerry Jones and family want to make sure that they kind of still have full reins in that organization, and they maybe pick that coach that will just do what they say. But I don't know. It's just interesting, those coaching hires, trading away Micah Parsons, who was probably their most popular player, and one of their obviously best player too. And so I don't know. We'll kind of see what comes of it the next few years for the Cowboys.
Yeah, and the first thing that pops in my head is just that, is this the end for Jerry Jones? Like, is there a time that you foresee that he ever sells the team? I know he wants to keep it in the family, and there's Steven is obviously there and all that stuff. But is there a time that he would just either, number one, step down from the GM and president role and just like pass it down to his family, Steven, and maybe they actually hire somebody that actually does this for a living, that actually is a GM in this league? Or is he just going to keep pushing forward until he can't anymore?
The latter. Yeah, I just don't see it. I think while he's knock on wood, above ground and pretty healthy, then that I think that's basically. Sorry, I got somebody barking over here when I knocked. Who let the dogs out? But yeah, I think he is here to stay, and the family is here to stay. And but what I will find interesting to see is if years down the line, if there is going to be a change of how they do business with exactly what you said, hiring someone to take care of everyday football operations while the Jones family takes care of the business side. But it'll come, but it's probably going to be years from now still.
Yeah, I mean, watching some of that Netflix documentary with the Cowboys, you just go, yeah, no, he's probably going to run this until he can't. And that's what he's always wanted to do, is number one, be in the limelight, right? Always be in the media, no matter if it's good or bad, which I would say this is probably on the bad side. But no matter what, Jerry's going to come out and have a press conference and literally just call him Michael the whole time. Do you honestly think that he was doing that on purpose, or he literally just doesn't know Micah's name?
He's got to know Micah's name by now. I would hope. Yeah, his press conference are gonna, the narrative will be just that we wanted him. We gave him an offer. He didn't want it. We're getting a good player back, and Kenny Clark, who's from UCLA, and he's been a decent run stopper. And then we're going to get some first round picks, and this is I can see it now. This is a trade for now and the future, but at the end of the day, I think Michael Parsons would have been probably better to have him suited up on the boys this year.
Yeah. And then I guess my last question is, does this make the Packers a contender right away now?
Well, I think the NFC is, I mean, look, we have the Eagles, who's defending Super Bowl champions, who should be outstanding again, I would gather. But yeah, besides that, it's pretty open. And so you have your Rams, you got your Commanders, you got your Lions, still some good clubs. But I think with this move, it's going to depend on what's his number? 12, 13? Mr. Love,
Mr. Love, number 10.
number
Was he?
10.
Yeah.
Was
I was like, hold on. Isn't he number 10?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, right? That's what I think it's going to come down to is his progression, and this would be year like 3 as a starter, right?
Starter. Yep.
So year 3 as a starter, he was obviously behind Aaron for a bit there, and so yeah, he's got to stay healthy, and he's got to play the way he played during the second half of his first year and into the playoffs. If he does that, then I think you're going to see him in the playoffs. And once you get in that dance, anything can happen.
Yeah, I just think on the NFC, it's pretty wide open, right? Unless it's Philadelphia. So I think they definitely have a chance in that division or in the conference. Their division is going to be hard as hell. Same as last year, right? You're going to have the Lions going to be there. You know, Minnesota is going to be good. You just don't know how good they're going to be because they essentially have a rookie quarterback. And you know, Chicago is going to be much better with Ben Johnson as a coordinator and coach. So it's going to be a tough division, but I do think that's a solid team that can get around 12 wins. Probably 12 wins would be their high. You know, somewhere that 12, 13, which realistically probably around like 10 to 11 wins is likely, which gets them into the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, I would imagine they'd be one of the 7 teams in the playoffs. 11, 12 wins will definitely do that.
Yep. All right. So if you guys are in the live stream on YouTube or Twitter, let us know your thoughts on the Micah Parsons trade or any other concerns around the league. We're about to get into some fantasy topics right now. So if you have any questions, just hit that chat. And also, if you're on the live, please hit the subscribe button on YouTube and